me tell you a story, a Bantu story. Once upon a time, there lived a king, a very mighty king, who had three wives. He loved and respected and provided for these three wives equally, so much so that they had nothing. They lacked nothing because everything they wanted, he provided. But right there, in the midst of all this love and attention, arose envy among the three wives. Surprising, right? In a situation where all of them were being cared and provided for and they lacked nothing, the first wife became envious of the third wife. Forgetting the fact that she was higher placed. Envy. She became jealous of the third wife. Why? I'll tell you why. She noticed that the third wife was the king's favorite. Not because she was the third wife, but because she was more submissive. At first, she thought it was easy. She was like, okay, I'll be submissive too. And so she faked it. She started pretending to be submissive, started pretending to be humble. But you can never hide humility, especially from a king. He saw right through her pretense. And in place, instead of her to gain his love and attention, what she got was resentment from the king. The mighty king resented her, refused to eat her food. Why? Why are you pretending? Even though it is very easy to be humble, she chose to pretend. And when this did not work, she lashed out at the third wife, accusing her of all manner of things. All manner of things. And with each accusation, she lost favor from the king. Pity. But then she thought about it over and over again. And then she noticed that the king was fond of the third wife's food. Why? On her days of preparing the food, the king would just take a bite. But on the day the third wife is to cook, the king will eat up until licking the plate. That tells you how good her food was. So she wanted to find out what made the third wife's food so good. I'm sure you know the easiest way was to ask the third wife, right? But no, envy and jealousy would not let her do that. Instead, what did she do? She started spying on the third wife. Spying on her. When the lady goes to the market to buy, she's tiptoeing. You know how jealous people do. Shamelessly. The lady goes to the farm to pluck leaves. She's following. The lady wants to fetch water. She's following. She wants to know the kind of leaf. She wants to know the kind of water. She wants to know the spice. She wants to know the... Won't you just ask? Be humble and ask. But the first wife refused to ask. Instead, she kept she kept following the third wife secretly just to spy on her. What a shame. The first wife, number one in the kingdom, stooping so low because of jealousy. And then she noticed something. She noticed round things in the soup of the third wife. She was like, oh, I knew it. So this woman, her food is not, when she tasted the round things, it was so soft. She was like, this must be her ears. But to confirm, she rushed to look at the third wife. Coincidentally, the third wife was covering her head with a hijab, so you couldn't see her ears. So in blinded jealousy, she concluded that the third wife always cuts off her ears. That the woman cut off her ears to cook for the husband. She was like, wow, it is not too much a sacrifice. I will do it. I will do it for my king. So, in her stupidity and foolishness, she also cut off her own ears and made soup for the husband. When the husband, the king, was about eating, he tasted the soup. He ate. Nice. Remember, she had been following the third wife about, so at least she now knows how to cook something nice. But when the king picked up the round things that he soup to eat, it tasted odd food to him. Odd. He called her and said, woman, what meat is this? Is it goat? Pig? What meat is this? The woman now came in pride and said, my king, you know I love you so much. I love you more than your third wife. And I noticed that she has been doing a sacrifice for you, sacrificing her ears for you, and you've been enjoying it. That is why I also cut off my ears. And that's what you're about eating. In anger and fury, the king threw the soup away. Said, how dare you? Am I a cannibal? Am I a cannibal? He was so angry. In his anger, the whole kingdom was about burning down. Chased her out of the house, out of the land, out of the kingdom. He was like, what man? My third wife will never cut off her ears. When they called the third wife was surprised. Brought out her hijab. Her ears were intact. Guess what she used? Mushrooms. Those were mushrooms. The first wife saw mushrooms in the soup of the third wife and thought the woman cut off her ears. That is what jealousy would do. What a pity. What a pity. What is the moral of this story? Like the saying, jealous ones will always envy. But the bad thing about envy and jealousy, it blinds you. It reduces you. This week, be humble. Be humble. don't let jealousy step into your system. So what happened to that woman? In her jealousy, she was blinded. In her jealousy, she acted foolish. It's a lesson to some of us too, to always expect the jealous ones to act stupid. When they try to harm us, they always end up harming themselves. Don't let jealousy. The sky is big enough for all the birds. All the birds. And like the Bantu people in Igbo land always say, let the hawk perch and let the eagle perch. And let anyone that refuses to let the other one perch, let his beak fall off and his feathers be broken. The sky is big enough. Be open. No man is your competition. You are your only competition. Just like the first wife, she was higher placed, but she wasn't looking at where she was. She was looking at where the other person was, and she missed it. She missed out on where she was and never got to even where the other person was. That is what happens. Look at you. Look at where you are. Focus on where you are. Focus on who you are. Don't let jealousy and envy come in. It never pays. It never pays. Focus on you. The sky is wide and big enough for all the birds to fly. Focus on flying and you'll fly high. Until I come your way again next week, these are Tales at Sunrise. And I am Silver Patrick Momen. I'll see you again. Bless.